All right, let's do this before I delay any further. So this will be a semi-random selection. And yeah, I'm back on X because I'm doing videos. No X until videos, and here I am. So let's just start. Warner Brothers, of course, got a bid from Paramount. And you got to think, you know, was it Warner? The new bid is like what, $30? I think it's $30. So we can be sure of this, right? We know Netflix are going to counter bid. There's no question they're going to have to counter bid. So Netflix will counter, and I have to assume that Paramount will also counter a second Netflix bid. So you could be looking at $40 maybe before somebody concedes. Of course, the higher the bid, the market at some point is going to start getting concerned that they're overpaying. So Warner Brothers was up 4.5% of the day to 27s. Let's have a look at Netflix. And yeah, we're going to try and keep this video short because most people have the attention span of a goldfish. Netflix was actually down 3.5%, which is kind of ironic because if they don't get to buy it, you know, that could be actually better. But hey, I mean, technically, Netflix is effectively borderline oversold. And you could certainly look for maybe Netflix to go up at least a purple gap around what, 108. That's an easy target. Yeah. Of course, Paramount PSKY, which was up 9% today. It's very unusual for a company that bids to be net higher on the day. And we saw that on Netflix on the initial bid. But yeah, look at that PSKY uh, finding a floor around the 200 day, up 9%. And but you know the problem's gonna be this bidding war. It could drag out for months. So we have a provisional finalized bid from Netflix, but that's now we have a secondary bid coming in from Paramount. But Netflix have got a counter. There's no doubt about that. And then Paramount will also counter. And now you've almost got to wonder who else might be interested. But I'm guessing it'll just be between Paramount and Netflix. Again, semi-random. Let's just jump to what are we looking for? Silver. How did silver do today? Silver's down 0.4%. Actually, that's SLV, of course, but actually, let's just go to commodity silver instead. So I haven't drawn the pennant on there. You can argue, look, if you go back one, well, look, that is a giant pennant, right? Which is already played out, but it's so big. You got to think, well, where's this? The size of the pennant is like suggesting that this is going to go at least what somewhere into the 60s, maybe 70s. If you jump back to commodity silver, you can see the pennant is there, not marked it on, but and also short-term price structure is a bull flag. So considering structure, I think, regardless of Tuesday, on Wednesday, Fed Day, get a rate cut. We should see commodity silver above 60. And in theory, 62, 63 looks pretty realistic. I accept it's overbought, or borderline overbought right now. But then it was there when it went from 44s to 54. So you could be overbought and go up $10. So look, we're at 58. I think, and I've said it um, a number of times recently, we could easily see 70 to 75 by mid-January. That doesn't look a stretch at all. Which reminds me of copper, which what's copper? So on the day, copper was it was down 3 cents, but you know, it's noise in the scheme of things. And yes, you could argue copper's borderline overbought, but I gotta think we're gonna take out the previous historic high from July of 593 and break into the sixes. I would accept that the sixes, you know, we could do it not this week, but could see $6 copper next week, which would be really bullish for the best copper miner in the world, which of course is Freeport McMoran, which was down 0.5% today. But again, that's all noise. So yeah, if you believe in $60 copper, I mean $6 copper, then Freeport is going to be above 48. And on a monthly chart, I just want to get some perspective. Because I was trying to remember what the all-time high of copper is. 54. So all-time high was actually, maybe it's not. Maybe it's even higher than that if I go back 25 years. No. Also, by the way, yeah, note this key price threshold 45, 46, which is where we are right now. So, you're gonna need $6 copper to get above 54. But it looks like it's probable. All right, what else we got to look at? Um, there was some guy on X who was asking me about MicroStrategy. Let's just punch up a daily chart of MSTR. Actually, I shouldn't say MicroStrategy because it changed the name just recently. It's just strategy. I mean, you got to think what if you're going to change the name. What you should change the ticker symbol. Just kick off the M over. Actually, maybe if I remove the M, what happens? See what name comes up. There's no STR. Okay, they should have changed their ticker name to MSTR. I mean STR. Anyway, MicroStrategy was up 2.5%. It's a pretty good floor. I mean, look at that candle there. 155 is a hollow red reversal. And of course, the next day jumped, so that played out. Short term bullish. Of course, it's a lot. I mean, geez, look at it. It's 183. It was 457 in July. Are you going to think, okay, what's basic upside? There's the old low 231. So yeah, you can look at 231, which is where the 50-day will be late this month. Yeah, 230 looks realistic. But again, clearly the stock is midterm horror from 457. In fact, if you think about it, actually, yeah, the stock was down 66% from the high. 66% in what? What's that? 4 months. 66% down in 4 months. And Sailor is still coveting respect from people. I don't know. What else is there? Um, what else happened today? A couple of the fins merit attention because OWL, OWL, Blue Owl Capital, is down today, but you know. Also note the fact that it's above the 50 days, so it's absolutely short-term bullish. It's probably going to be in the upper 17 soon. This company is still looking like it's going to detonate, but not yet. KKR, which I've been meddling around for a few months. Absolutely short-term bullish, up 0.5%. Soft target is what 138. So there's a good $8 to go. There was a giant head and shoulders, but that's been negated because of it's above 129. Again, I'm not saying KKR is in trouble, but if Al goes down in flames, then KKR will um, get impacted to some degree. Hmm. Couple of the miners, Agnico Eagle, which is generally one of the strongest performing mining stocks. So that was down 2.5%. But again, you could even draw a bullish pennant for this. I would accept technically it's short term broken. I mean, in terms of momentum, yeah, I mean, look, momentum turned negative today on slightly higher volume. So, it's short term bearish, but maybe just for a day and a half. American Eagle scored out reasonable earnings last week. Second day down 2.9%. It's just, look, this is just classic gap fill, right? That's all it is. Just a gap fill. Shouldn't go below $20, right? Maybe it'll gap fill to around just under, I don't know, 2080, 2090. First Majestic Silver down 4.5%. That's quite a nasty drop. Look at that though. Black candle Friday played out. There's a little gap here to the mid, well, 1370 or so. So Tuesday will probably be red briefly. In fact, that reminds me of the S&P. Talk about semi-random. Look, S&P daily. Bearish engulfing candle does suggest that we're going to open red. If we don't open red tomorrow, we'll probably turn red at least briefly. I got to think we're going to go above that high, right? We're going to go above 69.20 on some nonsense reason, some interpretation of whatever the Fed do, the market can interpret it in its own way. And yeah, there's a gap down here, but still gotta have to wait. What else is Oh yeah, I should highlight the transports. God, this is a really especially random selection. Um, look, unless the transports breaks back under, this is a pretty last week saw a pretty bullish breakout. If you jump to a monthly chart, I mean, look, broadly, all of this is chop, just endless, tedious chop. Look at where it floored in April. This is why I talk about price thresholds. Massive spike. It's still settled red, but that's a massive floor spike. And we've been broadly going up since April. And now we're set to challenge the high from last November. I tell you, if I'm dismissed. By the way, this high over here, the 18246 high, that was skewed because of I think it was Hertz. Hertz stock had some crazy ass print, and I'm dismissive of it. But yeah, if you see the transports above anything much above 817, let's just round it up, call it 17.9 or even 18,000. If the transports goes above 18, then after all this time churning around, you got to think, well, 20. And if the transports is at 20K, the S&P will be what? 7,300, 7,500 within Q1. Of course, that's crazy talk to some of you. Jumping back to commodity gold. Let me down 0.1% on the day. Look at short-term structure though. It's a bull flag. It's a bull flag. Gold's 41.92. What I to confirm the bull flag, you need to see 42.64 taken out. whether it's Wednesday with the Fed or Thursday, doesn't really matter. It might even, doesn't have to do it on Wednesday or Thursday. It could do it Friday instead, but you got to confirm the flag above 42.64, and then you can look, absolutely look for that high 43.81 to be cleared, and then really, what's above that? 4,500 and then 5,000. My issue is that, of course, this is borderline crazy talk, but Trump has an issue with Venezuela, right? Any attack on Venezuela might sync with gold 5,000. And if gold is 5,000, well, what's silver? Silver should be at least 70 to 75 minimum. And you could even argue that silver could even, it is it is crazy talk, but there's some talk out there about $100 early next year. We know we know gold 5K is got to happen, right? It's just a matter of when. On my GOD chart, you can see I've drawn the pennant, which of course silver has one as well. And the thing is with this is a really big pennant. Look, you can see on there the bull flag. After the pennant, you have a provisional breakout. This little bull flag, in theory, we should see new historic highs. Either, probably not. I mean, in theory, it could happen this week, but it's more realistic next week. I mean, it is a bull, it is a bull flag. Gold should break a new high. What else we got? What's Bitcoin doing? I don't trade it, but I mean, yeah, Bitcoin's 90,000. You got to think it's got to at least try and push up to test 100K again. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's got to test 100K before year end. There's still plenty of time left in December for that to happen. Nvidia had a good day actually. It was up 1.7%. Now today's candle is spiky from around the 50-day, but you know, it's doing pretty good. And the other one, Tesla. Yeah, rough day for Tesla. I mean, if you read around, and I've been highlighting the videos regularly, well, at least to my subscribers. Um, why would you expect car sales to be good? The consumer is broken, and it's worse every day. Same for retail in general. This is not good. The valuation for Tesla is insane. Anything else? Oh yeah, Costco. I'm just thinking of the things that people said to me earlier. Costco has earnings on Thursday, I believe. Costco was down 0.8. Wow, 887. Oh, look, let's be clear. Look, Costco earnings will be fine. There's no question about that, right? So from a cyclical perspective, you got to think Costco will be inclined to go up on earnings. Yeah. The stock is dead money. You're not buying Costco for it's almost just a big, boring defensive company. In fact, let's have a look at Walmart. It's a prime competitor. Wow. Walmart's actually had a look at that run there from Walmart from 98s to 116s. So today was down, but that was just a retrace. I've always said, and this is the thing, if you have two stocks and one of them is a Dow component, I always favor the Dow component. Of course, Walmart is a Dow component, whereas Costco is not. Because you have institutions that are going to be inclined to buy Walmart rather than Costco, purely because it's a Dow component. So yeah, Walmart is still the better stock. Also, the valuation for Walmart is like it's around. I think the last time I checked, Walmart PE was around 35-ish, which is still expensive. But Costco was somewhere north of 50. Walmart is the better one. Has been for years. Anything else? What did the dollar do today? Probably still stuck around 100, right? Yep, it's 99. I wasn't planning to. Again, this is a very semi-random selection, but I don't know, most of you don't care, but you should, at least occasionally. But look at the bond yields. We have the failed state of the UK leading the way, 4.53%. America, 4.17. Germany, German Bund at 2.86%. And Japan, 1.97. Look, we know the direction they're here. Japan's going to go above 2. UK's going to go above 5. Broadly, America's still trending flat for the last couple. I mean, look, this is all chopped for the last few years, if kind of inclined on the upside. And yeah, there's lots of talk about the yen carry trade blowing up, which would take down the Nasdaq and other things. But that doesn't seem likely this side of Christmas. So you know, I think equity bears. It's like just come back in, come back in second week of January. I mean, it could blow up before Christmas, but it's unlikely. But yeah, bond yields. I hold to the original view that I would prefer any US listed stock above any bond. I'd almost rather have Peloton stock than a Japanese bond. That's how bad I view bonds. On that note, I will say, look, I'm gonna do videos. This is a new thing, and one, it's time consuming a little bit, but there's less typing, which is a good thing. And I should do live streams eventually, but there's no point doing live streams whilst my audience is mostly non-existent. It's a waste of my time. So for the moment, I'll try and do little videos, at least one a day. And again, I'm not going to do any editing. I haven't got time to do that. So, we'll keep it simple. I will wish you a good Tuesday. Tuesday should be mostly chop, right? Probably we'll be inclined to open down, but we should see renewed upside. Wednesday will clearly be a big day, especially for gold and silver. And in theory, gold, silver are going to be printing new historic highs. And if they don't do it this week, well, there's always next week. And on that note, I wish you a good Tuesday. Be good.